everything was going on in this space. It was a bar, so you got somebody playing darts over here. You got people over here playing Keno that don't know.
So nobody paying attention, basically.
Ain't nobody paying attention.
Peace, family. Will Roundtree here on the Full-Time CEO podcast, the shit they don't tell you, where I get to interview entrepreneurs, businessmen, moguls, legends, all that good stuff. But more importantly, right now, I'm sitting in this room with a very good friend of mine, my brother from another mother, I could probably say.
Yes.
But more importantly, I've actually got an opportunity to see his career manifest right before everyone's eyes. I mean, this individual actually started his career at the comedy clubs out here in Las Vegas, Nevada. I remember, him doing a lot of local events. Then one day I just see him pop up in a movie. I'm like, this man is doing his thing. I mean, he got an opportunity to be on a national comedy show, Who's Got Jokes. From there, it snowballed to being able to tour the country with some of your favorite comedians across the world. So I'm extremely excited. Very special guest, as I always say, all my guests are special. My good friend, my brother, my partner, Mr. Jay Reid. How you doing,
bro,
man?
Doing good,
oh,
man. Doing good.
The
Staying
legend.
COVID free.
Staying COVID free, absolutely, man.
Just trying to stay COVID. Too many.
It's definitely trying.
Too many variants going on, man. It's hard.
I just heard another one was like Delta, Cromie.
They got Abercrombie and Fitch. They got.
Supercalifragilistic.
Right, it's all kinds. Delta Airlines got their own variant.
I know Delta was mad.
They coming out with one.
I know Delta was mad when that came out.
Yeah.
They said it.
Did we have to call it Delta?
I think it hurt their business.
I'm sure it did. Everybody thought you got the variant on when you get on Delta.
Got on Delta, man. So, man, definitely appreciate you taking time out your day. I know your schedule is extremely busy. Yeah. You've been traveling. You've been, doing a lot of different things, man. But before we jump into that, who's Jay Reid? I know you're from Las Vegas. You're probably the second person I met that's from here.
Yeah, it's not too many of us.
It's not too many. So who is Jay Reid?
I'm born and raised fabulous Las Vegas, Nevada. I'm just a person that I love people.
Definitely.
I love entertaining. I just love to put smiles on people's faces, and I've been blessed to make a career out of doing that, know. So I'm a family man. I love my wife and kids, just love having a family and just, the joy of fatherhood, so that's first off. I'm a father first,
100%.
And then, I'm a businessman also. I love the business of comedy, of entertainment. And, I have a show called Comedy and Cocktails that I produce here in Vegas. And the reason why I produce that is because I want to have, comedy for Las Vegas, a place where people can go and enjoy all kinds of comedians, not just white comedians, black comedians, but the funniest comedians that you ever seen. Absolutely. I want to bring that to Vegas, and that's a passion of mine. So, that's why I became the businessman that I am, in the business. So, I wear a lot of hats.
Absolutely.
That's Jay Reid. Jay Reid wear a lot of hats, and I do it well.
Absolutely.
I think so.
So we're definitely gonna touch on all of that, man. Yes. And so let's take it back.
Yeah.
You started your career around the age of 19, somewhere around
19, 18 and a half, going on 19.
Okay. When you were in high school, was that something that like, I think I want to be a comedian, or it kind of?
I didn't. That light bulb didn't go off. But I was always, as I look back, I was always doing stuff as building my career up to become a comedian.
Okay.
So I used to be a class clown.
I was about to ask.
The yearbook and all of that. I got the class clown, most person to succeed in life and stuff like that. I used to get all those things in school because people just loved me. I used to be in the band in high school.
What instrument did you play?
I was in the drum line.
Okay.
I'm a drummer.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I played the trumpet.
I actually played the trumpet in junior high school.
Right.
But I actually started playing drums when I was about 8 years old in the church. My mother's a pastor.
Oh, wow.
So I started playing in the church and became a really good drummer. And then I didn't want to play when I got to junior high school.
Right.
I love the trumpet also. I used to see that brand, so I was like, man, that just looks so cool.
It's something about the trumpet, man. It's a dope instrument.
That little 3 fingers and 3 valves. So I started playing, I read music, but drums is just always in my DNA.
Right.
So
I mean, because we like bass.
Yeah,
we
yeah,
like some
yeah.
and stuff. You know what I'm saying?
So I was doing the pep rallies in high school.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying, on the drum line, we playing the drums and stuff for the step shows and stuff. So it just became something that I love to do, one of my hobbies, and I actually kind of took that in my stand-up. You know, that's another talent that I have that I'm applying to what I already do. So, you know, it's crazy how sometimes like things that you used to do as a kid can sometimes help you as an adult.
Absolutely.
Sometimes, you know, and I feel like that's one of those things with drumming. It's like, you know, now that's another talent that I'm bringing to the world now through stand-up and through me entertaining throughout all of these years.
It's kind of like how Jamie Foxx had the piano.
Exactly what it is, yeah.
One-man drum line.
Yeah.
Doing the dances and all that'd be dope, man. So you started your comedy career. What was that first time like on stage?
Horrible. I got booed off stage my first time. It was terrible. So I never forget this. I went to the El Rey Theater in Los Angeles. It's still, up to this day, an old theater, right? At the time, Steve Harvey was on the radio in LA, and he had a talent show. Okay. And I got picked to do the talent show. And it's just like Showtime at the Apollo. Right. That's exactly the format, right? So they put us in the El Rey Theater. They had this one little room. It was no air conditioning. It was just hot. I wore a suit. I thought Steve Harvey was going to be there that night, but he wasn't. He didn't host that night. It was Alex Thomas.
Was it one of his suits?
No, it wasn't one of his suits, no. But it was close. It was a big baggy suit. It was damn near one of his suits. Right. But I had a new suit on, ready to go. Found out that Steve wasn't even going to be there. I walked out on stage. I had a joke at the time called the Vaseline joke. And the premise of the joke was, fellas, have your lady ever said anything to you over the phone and make you want to jerk off? That was a joke. It was a stupid ass joke, but so I had the Vaseline on stage, had a little prop, and I just acted it out. I was like, yeah, what did Keisha do? She was at the club doing what? Shaking her ass. What? So what did her ass look like? So I'm just doing that while I grab the Vaseline, right? So I go there that night. I walk out on, give it up for Jay Reid, walk out on stage with this Vaseline. As soon as I grab the mic and say, hey, what's up, everybody? How y'all doing? Boo! I didn't know what the hell to do. I'm brand new in comedy. I'm just like, oh my gosh, what do I do? So I just started, lashing out at everybody at the crowd. They had this guy that had a T-shirt on. He said boo. He was the boo man. I didn't know this at the time. Wow. If he stood up, everybody booed. So sure enough, he got up with that shirt on. Woo! My confidence is just shot. So I'm walking on stage and Alex Thomas pulled me back on stage. Hold on, man. Hold on. You brought this Vaseline on stage. What were you going to do with this Vaseline? I was like, man, I don't know, man. I just want to go back to my room, man. Get me the fuck up out of here. So he was like, man, please. Shh. He shushed the crowd. Shh. Everybody be quiet. Please do this Vaseline joke. Just let me hear what you was going to do. I don't want to do this joke. So I was like, all right, I'll do it. So I started doing the joke. Hey, everybody. Fellas, have you ever, your girl ever said anything to you make you want to jerk off? Right. The dude with the boot shirt on stood up again. That's Martin Lawrence joke on you, so crazy. Boo this motherfucker again. Boo! So I got booed twice in one night. So it was one of the worst nights of my life, but it made me stronger as a comedian. I took that as a learning lesson. And I promised myself, I said, from that day forward, I'm going to make sure I'm always prepared on stage. Make sure I never have this feeling again. Wow. So that's why, when I go on stage, I'm always, calculating, say, okay, if I do a joke or something that don't work, I have this joke to follow this joke or whatever, because I never want to have that feeling again. Right.
Man, that story is so powerful because, like, I often talk about even just in my journey and even in my book, Full-Time CEO, the shit they don't tell you. Yeah. I've had so many experiences, people call them losses or L's. That's really what defines you, and it gives you experience, so now you can go to a situation much more prepared. Exactly. And so to hear you say now you already know I'm more calculated with my approach, what do you say to people who everything they do is just about winging it? They don't really, like I often talk about, and I said this with another guest before, like just because you can bake cakes don't mean you can have a bakery. Right. You have to actually prepare and learn how to run a bakery, from understanding business to understanding ingredients, making sure you don't get sued? Like, what's your level of preparation now?
I'm always prepared. It's like I write new jokes all the time, but I know when and where to use them. If I'm doing a theater where these people paid $100 a ticket to do a show, I know I can't go up there trying new jokes out. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I might do a show where it's a couple hundred people, whatever. I'm gonna give them jokes that I know that works, know that they're gonna have a good time when I'm saying these jokes. But I might throw a little extra, something. I might wing it a little bit just to see, this is an idea I had, so let's see if this works. And if it's not working, hey, I got something that goes right back into. But that's why I have a show that I host in Vegas, because I can that show right there. I can try new stuff.
It helps you to
I can throw it. It helps me keep building into my my arsenal of jokes. It's like, so now I have so many hundreds of thousands of jokes in my head that I can go to and make the crowd laugh anywhere I go. So even in business, like you say with the bakery, you just can't, if you get a bakery, you can't just say, "Oh, I'm gonna try this cake and see if people I'm gonna push it out." Like, no, you got it's a process of trying things to be able to get it to a standard where you can give it to someone else.
Right. So going back to starting in Vegas, you went and did the show in LA, and now you had that experience. Coming back to Vegas, did you immediately start doing local events? Like, how did you? Because I would assume Vegas may not have been known for the local black comedy circuit back then. So how did you develop your base here in Las Vegas?
Actually, when I won, so it started out me doing stand-up, starting stand-up here in Vegas.
Okay.
I started a show of my own called The Grown and Sexy Comedy Show. Where I was hosting, just trying, building up my skills as a comedian.
Okay.
And then I got accepted to Who's Got Jokes.
I
auditioned for that, and it's crazy that it happened because the season that I got on, which was the fourth and last season, they shot it here in Vegas. So I went to LA to audition, and I got on, and so they called me like, "Yeah, the show's gonna be in Vegas. We want to get you a ticket." They thought I lived in LA. We want to get you a ticket out to Vegas. I'm like, "No, I live in Vegas. You don't need to give me a ticket." Okay, we didn't know that. So what happened was I got on the show, and the show was a competition where they had a preliminary round. If you win that, you go to the semifinals and the finals of the last two comedians. And the day that I was supposed to shoot the semifinal round, my father passed away. So now I got to deal with adversity now, So my father passed away on that show, and then the semifinal round was like 2 or 3 days later when we shot it, my father's wake. And then the finals was my father's funeral.
Wow.
It's just so happened the way everything just lined up with shootings, all right? So the whole week, man, I'm on an emotional roller coaster trying to get through this. I'm trying to be there for my mom, everything. So I realized that I was in my purpose. At one moment that happened, and you guys can go on YouTube and see this. This was my purpose when I found out my purpose in life was they had two rounds that you had to do. So you go out, do your 5-minute set. Then the second round, they bring you back and they throw just anything at you. One taping, it was like Deal or No Deal. You just had to pick a case, whatever.
I think I saw that episode.
Yeah, whatever was in that case, you had to do your set on whatever was in that case. That's the topic. So this particular show, they had a wheel of topics. So they had everything. They had Obama, they had hockey, they had basketball, all these different subjects. I spin the wheel. It lands on hockey. And Obama was like 2 spaces over, and you just see the wheel go, coo, 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 right back to Obama.
Oh, wow.
And I had just written this fire-ass 10 minutes on Obama, right? As soon as I saw that happen, you go and look, while you see my face, I'm just like, oh. That was my father. My father was telling me, man, this is I died, everybody's emotional right now, everybody's doing this, but I want you to continue to do this show and win this show. That was that moment for me. I was like, my father's with me right now. I got to go kill this. Went, I did my Obama shit, man, standing ovation.
Right.
You see Ray J, one of the judges, man, everybody up on their feet.
Wow.
Bro. And so I won the comedy show, Who's Got Jokes, and me winning that show, I got my own 30-minute comedy special on TV One.
Okay.
So I got that 30-minute comedy special. Bill Bellamy was trying to put a tour together because the Who's Got Jokes numbers was off the chain, but the network didn't want to bring the show back. but the numbers was crazy. So Bill was like, man, you guys, it was me and another comedian named D-Lay. You know,
Okay,
D-Lay.
yeah.
We had the highest rated season of the whole show.
Right.
Because of our performance, we had the battle and everything. So I ended up winning. And then so Bill was like, yo, we're gonna put this tour together called the Ladies Night Out Tour.
Okay.
So we ended up going on the road, doing like 2 years.
Yeah,
Myself, Ali Sadiq, D-Lay, and Bill Bellamy. And then we created this whole big tour. It's like just for the ladies. And I mean, it's just packed for the most finest ladies you ever want to see in your life, you know, these women. You know, so we did that. Then we shot a Showtime special for it. And it just kind of helped catapult everybody's career. So after that, that's when I started back my comedy and cocktail show that I once did here in Las Vegas.
Right.
And that just helped it kind of grow and become much bigger because I built my fan base and I built these other relationships in all these different places where people, they all come to Las Vegas. So they like, hey, Jay, man, next time, whenever I'm in Vegas, I'm going to come hang out with you, man,
Right.
come to your shows and stuff. So they always fly in, you know, to come see the show and all of that. So, you know, I always bring in, you know, my friends, all these different comedians that I've met on the road. You know, they come and just, you know, bless the stage. So it's just a fun time that we have, and that helped me create what I have in Las Vegas. You know, my fan base in Vegas and all the people that support me here just comes from me grinding, you know, having to go through those things that I did on Who's Got Jokes and people seeing what I went through and how I persevered over that. And, you know, people love that. You know, that's a great story. It shows that people that you really love what you do. And, you know, people really, they understand that.
No, 100%, man. That piece you talked about, adversity.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think people really understand the magnitude of how adversity is really kind of like that cocoon as a butterfly or the caterpillar.
Yeah.
Like, you could have easily said, I'm dealing with something personal, called the network, hey, like, what type? Now, I would assume this came from your earlier years that led up to that. But what was your mindset prior to? Like, was this something you worked on? Was it something you developed? Do you feel you were just naturally, mentally a strong person?
I think it's certain things that I've been through in my life up to that point. Like, I used to see my parents argue all the time and go through certain things. And I went into the military, you know, 18 years old. Not knowing anything. My father, he was there, but not really there.
Right.
You know, he didn't teach me all of the things that I needed to be taught as a man in this world. He didn't show all of that because he was one of those old school hard dudes. I'm not gonna tell you I love you and all of that. As long as I'm feeding you, you know, putting food on the table, whatever, I'm doing my job, you know. But I didn't have that type of guidance. But he was there, but he just didn't teach me certain things in my life. So when I went to the military, I got certain hardcore values. They call them the Army values. You know, you have honor, loyalty, selfless service. So those values really stuck with me about life. And you have to have all of these values in life, not just the military, but these are life lessons that I'm being taught. So the military had a lot to do with that.
Right.
My mother being a pastor, you know, just having that religious background and always being in church and getting little gems that you hear from different pastors, you know, fellowshipping from different people and everything. You hear those older people say certain things that stick with you as a kid. You know, so a lot of those teachings that I heard in my mother's church, that helped me become make some of the decisions that I made. You know, when I had to make that decision for my father, I just felt like I felt like he wanted me to do it.
Definitely.
You know. And it was weird because now that you made me think about it, it's weird because my father, before he died, he never really came to my shows. So he actually came to one of my shows that I did. This is probably like 3-4 months before he actually passed. And he came to my show, and it was like one of the worst shows I had. The venue, the air conditioning went out and all that. But he actually sat there when the show started. It was probably like 5-6 people in the audience. Right. But he sat in the back and he just watched, and he was just like, he was just shaking his head at me like that. I knew he was proud. He didn't say it. He didn't say that shit. But I knew he was proud. And so, like, all of that kind of popped in my head when I was going through and I was trying to make the decision because I had all of the producers coming up to me. Man, what are you doing? We might have to get an alternate to replace you. Are you going to do the show? Are you going to go be with your family? So I was like, just give me a minute, y'all. I don't know. And I just thought about it. I was like, man, he wouldn't want me to stop this. I talked to my mom about it. He wouldn't want me to stop. He wanted me to keep going, you know, and I did that. And I remember, man, the first time I walked on stage, bro, it was like a weight lifted off of me, man. So, like, it was a high stage and it had like 3 steps. And it feels like every step that I took to get to that stage, man, it felt like a weight lifted off of my shoulder. I went out, I just saw everybody yelling and shit, screaming, man, and I was just in the zone.
And that's why I tell people, like, no matter what you go through, you just got to keep going, because a lot of times that is the defining moment. And a lot of the times as well, we have to go through that because that builds character.
Yeah.
Because how do you handle a massive amount of success if you can't handle it at this level? Because you're going to still go through stuff up here. You know, it may not be to that magnitude, but it's all about and how you handling it. And so with that being said, I want to take it back a little bit, the joke writing process. Like, how do you know what's a good joke? Like, do you practice it out on kids? Do you like
see, that's the thing. It's like you can practice on your kids, you can practice on your wife, on your mother, sister.
You be at the family reunions.
You can do all of that, but when you get on that stage, they gonna laugh at it. You know, so that's the part about the comedy process that I love, is because you can't just go on one stage and say this and like, oh yeah, this shit works. No, you got to go on multiple stages. You got to try it in front of different audiences, you know, different regions of the world, you know, of the country, you know, because all of these different people think differently, you know, no.
And their reference points are different, so they may not get the joke.
Exactly. Yeah, so you have to see what works. You have to word it different. You got to say, okay, you know, if I do it with people, you know, if I'm in New York or something, I'm gonna do it this way because the lingo is different. You know, I'm gonna change some words up or whatever. So it's wordplay. You have to be able to manipulate words whenever you need to do that. You know, so it's an art, man. It's really an art, and people, you just have to master the art of it. You know,
I mean, speaking in front of people is an art form. So to be able to, I always say the hardest thing to do is make somebody laugh.
It is.
Because people are wanting you to be unfunny. They don't want you to be funny. They're expecting you not to be funny.
Yeah. I mean, it's crazy if you think about it. Though. It's
like when you think about it,
it's a psychological thing. It's like they don't want you to be funny.
They don't.
They do, but they don't. Especially if they pay you.
That part.
If you pay $100 for a comedy show for you and your lady,
they waiting to say boo.
You bet.
Speaking of that, have you ever had a heckler?
All the time. Oh, yeah. I love hecklers though, because it makes me see where I'm at on the top of it. I gotta always be on the top of my game. Where am I at with it? I'm going to mess this heckler up because I have the mic and you don't. So.
Have you ever made somebody leave the show?
Oh yeah, all the time. Dude, this happened probably about a year ago. A lady didn't like what I said.
Oh wow!
I was talking about Karens or something, man. She didn't like. Oh my God, you're being so just racist. Because I said Karen. But that's where we in the world today.
No,
you know?
Definitely, man. And that's the thing I love about comedy, man, because it really is one of those spaces where no matter what you have going on in your life, you can just kind of let your hair down.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's why I love comedy. I try to attend, you know, and I support your event as often as I can. Like, what's that feeling you get when, because I've heard people even say, man, your comedy has changed my life, or it's helped me to go through what I'm going through. What is that feeling like to know that you're touching and even healing people all across the world, man, with your word?
So when I was doing comedy probably about 5 years, I had this guy come up to me. We was in a little hole-in-the-wall bar, and I was doing some jokes. I promoted that show. Okay. And Big Simone dude comes to me right after I get off stage. He was like, hey, man, Jay, can I holler at you real quick? Do I got to fight this motherfucker? I go over to the bar. He was like, hey, man, I just want to say thank you. Like, thank you? What are you thanking me for? He was like, man, I lost my mother and I lost my auntie all in the same week. Wow. And somebody told me to come see you, man, and just kind of feel better and just laugh. Man, you had me laughing so hard, man. Can I just buy you a drink and say thank you? Wow. I was just like, wow, really? And that moment right there, I was like, man, what we do is special. It's like I never take what I do for granted because it's special. We're in a changing lives, people's lives business. Absolutely. You know, it's like people come to us for healing because it's a lot of people walking around here wounded right now. Yeah. We don't even know it. We walking past them in the grocery store. You don't know what that man been through. You don't know what that woman been through. They wounded right now. They might have just lost their son or their daughter or their loved ones. So it's like, I never take that for granted, the power that I have of standing on stage, being able to talk about my life in a way of the things that I go through and people relate in a funny way. And I can help people just relieve stress off their life. You know, I don't take that for granted at all.
Right. Yeah. And so with that even being said, it's like you mentioned changing people's lives. So let's pivot a little bit. Jay Reid, the businessman, the entrepreneur. And in the right, that's changing people's lives too, because now you're giving other comics a platform that they may not have had because of the success that you've accomplished. Why was that so important for you to be able to kind of reach back in and bring some
Because
people
I was
home?
that comedian. I was that comedian, especially living here in Vegas. It's the entertainment capital of the world. So I used to go in all these casinos asking to get on, and can I get 5 minutes, and going to these comedy clubs, can I get 5 minutes? As a new comedian, they don't know who you are. You haven't done anything. They like, man, get out of here, you know. I don't have a place to work out my jokes. So that's why I created my show. That's why I said, you know, when I first started, I created that Grown and Sexy comedy show. You know, I created that, and I didn't know I was becoming a businessman at that time. I was just in the comedy. I just want to get on stage and perform more. So that turned me into a businessman, because I had to learn different things on how to run a comedy show. I had to learn how to make money from the door and all of this, and food and beverage and all of that, making sure that, you know, the bar owner's not stealing money from me. So I had to learn all that shit. And then I look up like, you know what? I'm a businessman, you know, once I learned, you know. So that led to me being able to do Comedy and Cocktails, and why Comedy and Cocktails is a successful show here in Las Vegas, because me being through that, me being on the road, going to these different comedy clubs and see how they run their business, and, you know, how they promote the marketing side of it, you know. It's a lot, man. I had to learn all of this, and now I can go apply this to my first love of what I wanted to do, is bring comedy and all of these comedians that I love and my friends, bring them to Las Vegas. And hey, man, just like the Laugh Factory, Chocolate Sundays, man, all those comedians up there just chilling, hanging out together, man. And then the audience is loving it. They go down there and talk to the audience after the shows. I want to bring that here. All the celebrities come to Las Vegas. It's like they be at my shows and stuff, you know. So it's like I want to bring that same atmosphere to Las Vegas, because that's what's lacking. And you know, I want to make sure that we have that.
Definitely. Now, what do you say to someone who maybe, whether they're a comic or just someone in the entertainment industry, looking to transition and pivot to being that businessman? What were some of the things you had to learn early, or some things that you was naive to, but you learned along that process?
I would say learn the people who want to support you. Learn what they like. Learn what you can do better to help serve them.
Correct.
You know, whatever business it is. If you, like we were talking about earlier, if you're a baker, how can I make a better cake and make my business better to help people out, to get out to the masses and see that, you know, everybody should have my cake. This is a feel-good cake. This is a cake made with love. And, you know, whatever your passion is. Whatever you're passionate about, love it. Learn everything that you can about it, about the business side of it, and about the craft side of it, how to make the cake, the ingredients that you need and all that. Learn all of that. And it's like the more knowledge that you have, the easier it will be. It's never going to be easy, but it'll help you out in your business. It'll take stress out of your life. You know, so I would just say just learn everything that you can and love it as much as you can. That's what I would tell you.
Has it been an easy road?
No, not at all.
What's been some of the surprises just on the business side that you like, damn, I ain't see that coming?
I mean, just contracts and stuff, you know, just you leaving money on the table, people, you know, taking advantage of you in contracts, and, you know.
It's a cold world out here.
It's a cold world, man. Even people that you think got your back in this business really don't have your back. You know, a lot of friends, people that you thought was friends, turning back on you, you know, so. That's a part of the game. You know, it's never going to be easy losing a friendship or losing a business partner, or, you know, if you find out somebody's taking money from you, firing that person, or you know, everybody has families, and sometimes you get close to other people's families in this business. So that part of it could be hard. But at the end of the day, you have to know why you got into the business and what you want out of your business. And that's how you got to make your decision. What's best for me and the business that I created, the vision that I have, or how can I make sure that the vision that I have, I'm meeting the goal, my goal of having that vision, and make sure I'm creating that vision for me. What can I do to do that? If this person over here is not right for that vision that I have, then I got to get rid of that person. You know? That's just how I look at it.
And I know that has to be hard because, like you said, you get close to people's families and different things. And holidays and you spend time at their
Absolutely.
house and everything like that. Have you ever had comedians or people who want to come and work with you or be a part of that process that you like, nah, fam? Like,
Yeah, I mean,
have you had to start telling people no?
oh, I definitely told a lot of people no, but I always give that person a chance. I always sit down and you know, talk to a person or, you know, just try to learn certain things about a person, because it's like I don't ever want to just come out and just say no, 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 when I'm, you know, that's a blessing in disguise that's, you know, probably coming to me to help me in my business or wherever I'm trying to do, you know, so that person might be an asset to be able to help. So I try not to do that. Just say no, 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 and just try to hear that person out and see, okay, what's your plan? Okay, you got this. I get people coming to me all the time. Hey Jay, man, I got this T-shirt business, man. I don't know, can you wear my T-shirt? So what kind of brand is it? Oh, I'm doing this, such and that. Oh, that doesn't, you know, apply with what I'm doing. So I don't know if I can work with you. Or, you know, if it's a good idea, like, hey, you know, take my number, whatever, let's sit down and talk. So it's all on how you do it, you know, because you don't want to block your blessing at the same time.
True. Yeah, and I know that has to be, you know, because it's almost like now you're the OG.
Yeah.
In the game. You've
It's
been at this,
weird,
what,
man.
like
It's
20
weird.
years almost?
Yeah.
It's like now, man, like you got all, it's almost like a sense of responsibility.
Yeah.
You know, and so let's pivot a little bit. Tour life.
Yeah.
Been on the road for a while.
Why you smiling, man?
Hey, I'm just saying.
What you smiling for, man?
Hey, I'm just saying. I've been on tour for a few years myself, but one of the things that tour taught me, because I know sometimes when you're in your own backyard and that's all you know, you really don't have a level of appreciation of the value that you may bring. Because you're seeing people from other cities who never even met you before, who will fly to anywhere and come and support you after they come and actually meet you.
Yeah.
Like, how has that been, just to know, like, damn, these people know me in this part of the world or in this city,
man.
or whatever.
Amazing. It's amazing because, like you said, you don't really get that in your city.
Yeah.
And I think the reason for that is these people see you all the time. They see you at your lowest point. You know what I'm saying? So when they see you like make it, and then that's when they believe.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of people that saw me when I was doing little open mic clubs, like, oh yeah, I come support you, yeah, and then just not really.
Right.
But now that they see that I'm doing, you know, stuff on TV, and you know, I'm hanging with this celebrity or that celebrity, they're like, yeah, oh, I'm gonna go support you, yeah, I want to be there, because they want to see who else gonna show up now, you know.
Right.
So you're gonna always get those people, but I don't know. It's just it's weird, bro. It's weird. It's like, what do you do at that point, you know?
It's like it's interesting, man, and I just try to always tell myself, you know, I'm blessed just to even be in a position to reach and touch people outside of my backyard.
Yeah.
You know, and like you mentioned, just using your voice for whatever that purpose may be, man. But the thing that I really loved about going on tour is just seeing that people on the surface are pretty much the same no matter where you go. But then you start to see there's different personalities depending on the part of the country you're in. Like you say, the same joke you do in LA, you may not be able to do in New York.
Yeah.
So it's like, what has that transition been like? And how do you even do you study when you get in the city? Like, what's that process like of even knowing
it's like
how to change it
like
up?
if I go to a new city, I definitely study like what this city is known for, you know, whatever. But
Street names and all of that stuff? Okay.
But like I go to a lot of, like if I go to Miami, I know Miami.
Right.
I already know how they rock, so I don't really have to study the city like that. But I still, you know, go hang around, go to the restaurants and just get the feel for people.
Okay.
You know, I might could throw a little something that I saw into my set that night or whatever. So I'm always out mingling with the people. But it's interesting what you said is like everybody's pretty much the same. And I realized that when I went to Iraq, I went to entertain the troops in Iraq.
Okay.
And I'm seeing all these Iraqi people just doing the same thing that we do. Like they just trying to go to work, feed their family, and just live the best life that they can live. The only difference is their religion and their beliefs are different than what ours are.
Yeah.
So, but they're no different than we are. It's just they just look at life a different way because they were raised a certain way.
Right.
So when I went there, I realized that, man. I was just like, wow. I just got to entertain the world, everybody, because everybody wants to live a great life, a stress-free life, and they want to live a life without war and violence and everything. But it's just it's their culture is so ingrained in their culture with fighting other people in their country. Just like, damn, like that's what we got to do. But we want to live in peace, but that's what our rulers are doing.
Right.
You know, so it's always good. I think that's the best education is to travel and learn people and build relationships with other people, because it's like that can just take you and show you so many other things, you know?
And the relationships that you build.
Yeah.
I say success, a great part of people's success is the relationships that they build.
Yeah.
Because it may be a door that somebody can crack open for you that you may not be able to get in by yourself.
Yeah.
And a lot of times it's not because you've done anything for them, it's just because they've got a chance to see your work ethic. They've seen you overcome adversity. They've seen, you know, just you as a person and like, man, I really like Jay. I see he, you know, even when I come to your show, after you finish your set, you amongst the people.
Yeah.
You're not in the back, you know, oh, I don't want to take no pictures or nothing like that. And then
I want to know if they had a good time or not.
Right.
I'm going to you. How was the show?
A lot of people don't do that type of stuff.
Yeah.
Whether it's a comedy show, they're an artist, they're speaking at an event that they're hosting. And so, no, I think that's important, man. So with traveling to different cities, you ever said the wrong city name, man?
Oh, yeah. It's as you know, being on the road, being on tour, you drinking and stuff all the time, hanging out, partying, doing after parties and stuff. So it's like, I was in Oklahoma, and I think I said Idaho or something. It was some crazy shit. Thank you, Idaho. Like, wait, Idaho, what?
That's too funny, man. So as we're wrapping up, Jay, and again, man, definitely appreciate you taking time.
Thank you for having me, bro.
No, absolutely, man. How do you juggle, you know, the comedy, touring, running the business, your family, the kids, wife? Like, how do you juggle that, man?
It's hard, bro. Because you got to have a great support system. You really
100%,
do.
Man.
Like my wife, she does an amazing job with my kids. You know, when I'm on the road, she definitely makes sure everything is taken care of. She does a great job with that. And you know, with business, you know, you got to have people around you. You know, I have great, you know, business partners and people around me that help out with certain things that I need with my business. So you got to have a good team.
You have to.
You got to have a team of people. You got to have people that believe in you, and you got to have a lot of sleepless nights, you know.
It's a lot of that.
A lot of long hours, bro.
Definitely, man.
You know, so, but if you love it, man, you'll keep going. It's not work for you.
Right.
It's not a career. It's damn, this is what I get up and get to do every single day. I'm just doing what I love to do.
What would you say to someone who's looking to break into the comedy world? Because I know people overall just want to be in entertainment.
Yeah.
And I'm sure, like I mentioned, you probably get people, whether they're in your DMs, they at your shows, that say, man, I want to do what you're doing.
Everybody think they funny, though. That's the thing.
I would, especially at a picnic.
But see, that's the thing. People don't understand.
Right.
They don't understand that it's a difference between making people that know you at a picnic or a barbecue at your cousin's birthday party. They know who you are. When you got to make it people who've never ever seen you, a complete stranger, you don't know nothing about their life. You don't know how if you know their culture, the culture, their religion that they come from. You don't know any of that.
Right.
But you just got to go out there blind and say, hey, I'm gonna give you these jokes and let's see if they work.
Right.
You know, so you got to be able to know that they work. Got to have the confidence and, you know, be able to relate to these people and know how to read the audience. It's like, okay, this woman's not laughing at this joke. Okay, this whole side's not laughing at this joke. Let me try this one over there. Okay, so let me talk about my kids. I said this about my kids. So, they gave me a reaction to that. So let me go more on that. And
it's a lot.
So that's processing. And people don't realize, like, I'm like 3, 4, 5 jokes ahead in my mind sometimes. It's like, as I'm saying the joke, it's the weirdest thing. I don't know how it works, but I'm actually talking and saying a joke. But in my mind, okay, should I go here or should I go there with this? Because because if I could do a callback with this joke. As I'm actually saying one other joke. It's the weirdest thing in the world.
I know another thing you're really great at too is freestyling on stage. It's like something can happen and you'll have a whole set as that happened.
See, that's not easy to do.
I can imagine it's not.
But see, I was blessed because when I first started doing stand-up, it was at a club called the Comedy Buffet.
Okay.
And everything was going on in this. It was a bar, so you got somebody playing darts over here. You got people over here playing Keno that don't
So
know.
nobody paying attention, basically.
Ain't nobody paying attention. It's a small stage over here, no chairs. Like everything is like for people, dancing and everything. They got pool tables over here. They got darts. They got video poker right here. So most people not even coming for comedy. They just coming to have a drink and play some pool or whatever. They don't give a fuck about comedy. But we got to do a comedy show. So instead of with those type of shows, you can't just go up there. Okay, guys. So I was walking down the street today, and they not having that. They not listening to that. So you got to go talk to them. So for the first 10 years of my career, I'm in bars and lounges like that, talking to people, coming up with jokes off the top of my head, and having to learn how to do that.
Right.
So it's like now when people see me do it, they were like, "Damn, I can't do that. How the hell you do that?" Like I've been trained to do it.
I've seen you do it many times, man. Yeah. Many times. You ever had somebody try to fight you?
Yeah. It was a chick, actually, a big Samoan chick.
Oh, really?
Yeah. The fucked up part was security, the music was going, and the lady, I'm on stage, while music going while I'm fucking on stage. This was one of the bars. So I'm talking to the lady. I'm talking to her, and I'm not being disrespectful. I'm just asking. I'm like, Samoan women are big. So I'm like, yo, I never been with like a big Samoan woman. Like, how is that? Like, she was like mad, and I couldn't understand why. Right. So security, the music is going on. Security on the top of the speaker. This motherfucker dancing. He don't know nothing going on. He's like, hell yeah, this party popping tonight. He getting it in. I'm about to get my ass whooped by this big ass Samoan girl. He don't even know it, man. It was a crazy ass night, bro. Right. I had to get another comedian to calm her down and grab her and shit. Like, she was big, bro. She was like 250, like big ass Samoan chick. Wow. Yeah, so I was a little nervous that night. Yeah.
Your career could have went a little different. Was social media around?
No, it wasn't.
If that would have been a world star moment.
That's when we had the snake phone.
Oh, okay.
The Nokia with the snake on it. Yeah.
Imagine if that would have got on World Star.
Man, that would have been crazy. Comedian got beat up by a girl.
Definitely, man. So for those who are watching, what's next for Jay Reid, man?
Man, I got a new comedy special coming out at the end of February. It's called That Don't Go Together. So that's coming out. It's going to be on Amazon. It's going to be on the Dry Bar Network. So make sure everybody look out for that. I got some filming stuff that I've been doing. I can't really talk about. But
any more movies?
Man, hopefully. I actually just wrote a movie, so I'm trying to pitch it right now. So definitely. I got a lot going on, man. Like I said, comedy and cocktails every week, every Wednesday. Fuso Rooftop Night. I'm sorry, they changed the name. It's not Fuso, it's called Terrace Rooftop Nightclub now. So y'all do that every Wednesday. So if you guys are in Las Vegas, come check that out, man. And I'm actually gonna be at your show tomorrow.
Yeah, definitely. And we gotta do something together. You got the comedy and cocktails. I got credit and cocktails. Yeah. We gotta figure out how to make that together, how to make that work some kind of way, man. Definitely. So, what's that one thing, Jay, that you wish you had have known back then that you know now?
Patience. Patience. It takes patience in this game. Nothing comes overnight.
Go a little deeper with that. Because we hear that all the time. But what does patience actually look like?
See, people don't realize your journey. Like, when you're on a journey, when you're doing it, because the first couple of years, you're going to think that, oh, my God, I just got to do this for a year or two, whatever, I can make it, and I'll be here in 2 or 3 years, I'll be at this level, I'll be here in 5 years, when actually you probably won't. It might take 10 years to get to that level that you want. And I thought that as a young comedian, because I got on TV early, I'm like, oh shit, I'm ahead of my time. I'm 20 years old, I'm on TV right now, And then I wasn't on TV, then that shit stopped. And then I had to, continue to go do something else on the road and go and do my stand-up on the road, and live that road life. But I didn't realize, okay, I got to take a journey and learn how to be a professional comedian. I'm not a professional yet. And so that journey of me going on the road, me being able to see the business on the road, me being able to start doing interviews and, have a PR person to, put you on these different places to show you how to do different interviews and all of this. It's like I had to learn how to do that. Right. And all of that was a process. All that was years and years and years of growing. And now I know, hey, I got to be patient for certain things. I have to learn how to do certain things before I get to a level that I want to be at. A lot of people want to be Will Smith, but they don't know all the books that Will Smith read, all of the life lessons he had to live in order to become that superstar that he became.
Right.
You know, so I think for me, that's a very, very important thing. In any business, you got to be patient. You got to know it's not going to happen overnight.
Right. No, and the reason I want you to dig in a little bit more into that, because like you say, we hear these cliches and sayings, mindset, patience, attitude, but some people really don't know what that means.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They don't understand that you can be great at something, but it still may take you 10 years to hit the apex of seeing some success. I often talk about, I didn't make money the first 6 years in my business. You know what I'm saying? And so, and then you could have success early and then lose it.
Yeah.
And so now you got to understand, okay, I got to go back to the basics. And so, yeah, man, just that patience, man, is so key. That personal development, the people you have around you, all of those things, man. So I definitely appreciate you just sharing your journey, man. I know that, you know, what you're doing is incredible. I've gotten a chance to just see your career up close and personal throughout these years, man. I remember the Strawberry Saturdays at the poetry events, man. And so, I mean, I know I wasn't born and raised in Vegas, but being here over 16 years, man, it's just dope to see someone from the backyard go out and do the things that you've accomplished, man. So, you know, I want to definitely share and use my platform and just say I'm proud of you, man. Definitely give you your flowers while you're here, man. And so I definitely appreciate that. So, family, this was the Full-Time CEO podcast. The shit they don't tell you. Jay Reid told y'all a lot of shit.
A lot of shit. I did say a lot of shit
He told you about when he bombed on stage twice in one night. And so, man, it's always dope when someone can share their level of transparency of their journey. And so make sure y'all continue to stay locked in. If you have not done so, make sure you like, share, comment. Make sure you go and support my brother Jay Reid. He's coming to a stadium.
Stadium, I like it. I like it.
You're going to speak that into existence.
Stadium near you.
He's coming to a stadium near you. Until then, family, I appreciate y'all. Make sure y'all stay locked in and be on the lookout on who the next guest is. Until then, I will see you at the top. Peace.